I lived in my car for a little while right before I turned 16. I got removed from the house. We'll just put it that way. And then I started. I lived in my car for a little while. Met this guy in a parking lot while I was in my car, and he drove up in this like really nice truck that was like fully customized. And he was like, "Hey man, you want to buy this rearview mirror TV from me?" And he had like this huge. Back then, the rearview mirror TVs were not in cars, and so you had to buy them. It was this huge thing, and he was like, "I said, dude, like I'm living in my car. I'm not buying that." And he was like, "Why don't you come with me? My dad's like down in Miami, and he's doing like remodeling theaters, and like, why don't you go with us? It's this place called Sebring right above Miami." And I was like, "All right, well, yeah, I'll do that. I had nothing else to do, you know." So I started off with him, and they were into a lot of really bad stuff. So I started kind of getting mentored in the stuff they were doing. We were trafficking drugs, selling drugs.
In Miami?
Yeah, right above Miami. And so doing that, yeah, man, just went down a bad path. And then finally it caught up to me. I don't want to get into the whole story there of like how I ended up in prison there. Probably shouldn't, but what happened was I just ended up getting in a lot of trouble with law enforcement, and it actually wasn't my fault. I'll just say this: a girl got ran over at my party that I had. That was a detective's daughter, and I was in the truck when we picked her up, but I didn't know her. I wasn't even driving, and she left with some other people, or was going to leave and come right back. And the guy, as a joke, as she was like using the restroom behind his tire, he had big, huge like 44s or something on a Blazer. And just backed up over he was just going to bump her just to mess with her, and while the truck was off, and he couldn't stop it, and it rolled over her head, put her in a coma.
Oh my God.
And so
What the heck?
that all ended up coming after me and the buddy in the truck from her dad. And so that's all I can really say about that. And then I ended up
Her dad was a detective?
yeah.
Jeez.
And but we had a lot of dirty cops, man. Like I had cops that were good friends with me that would not let me go to jail if they could stop it. But yeah, so anyways, just built like a little empire of that, and then it all came crashing down. Lost everything, but while I was in jail, I was looking out this glass window, and I heard this audible voice say, "I'll change you and take you to the nations." And I knew
While you were in jail?
Yeah, while I was in jail.
Wow.
And I had moments of like, okay, God, I know that God was real. I didn't ever struggle if it was real or not. My thing was just like, I don't want to serve you. Like, you're evil, you know? And so that's what I ran from the whole time. And I had some encounters. My brother and I, we got shot at with some of my friends in my vehicle, leaving a club one night in a downtown area in Alabama. And a girl that was in the SUV, I had an Expedition at the time, a Ford Expedition. And this girl like said some things to the guys next to us, and they were in a turning lane, and they came around the other side of us and just started shooting up my car. And we ended up, I don't know if they ran out of bullets or what, but they just turned around in the middle of the road, and I just kept going. And I knew there was moments in my life where I knew God had to be real, because we got shot at. I could hear the bullets going in front of my face. My windows were down. And we get to where I lived about an hour away. There's no bullets in my car. Nothing hit my car. And then I have this feeling I need to go see my grandmother. So I drive down there. I've been up all night. Like I'm on drugs. Don't need to be driving. Been drinking and on drugs. And I go see my grandmother. And I remember walking up her steps, and I could see they had like a lot of glass in their front doors, and I could see her coming to the door the same time I'm walking up her steps. And she had like this cloth in her hand. I didn't understand what that meant. It was a prayer cloth. And she said that God had her up all night praying for me. And I knew, okay, God protected me. But that wasn't enough. You know, I had everything I wanted. To me, it was just all about what I could get in this life. That was what a blessed life was whatever I wanted. And so, yeah, man, I just had some encounters like that, some prophetic words people gave me. But then I'd see Christians out on the street with these signs that say, like, you're going to hell, and, you know, all this other stuff. I throw beer bottles at them, whatever. I hated that kind of stuff. And because I'm like, I don't need anybody to tell me that. I know that. Like, I don't know anybody tell me that. So yeah, man. And so I ended up in jail. I guess that's when I got saved. I don't know. I didn't like go through I didn't know what to say, but I just was like, no matter what, like I will lay down my life to find out who you really are.
When you heard that voice, dude, that is so crazy, man, because you'd think that's like the last place you'd hear God speak to you.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
you literally just got arrested
Right.
for a really horrific situation.
Yep.
And yet the mercy of God meets you in that place. Were you like, I know somebody personally who had a similar situation, being in jail. That's where they encountered God. But it was because they were in jail and they came to the end of themselves. They found a Bible and they were like, all right, I need to see if this is real.
Yeah.
Was that a similar thing for you, or were you just there and you just heard this voice?
If you enjoyed that clip and you want to watch another video like it, you can just click right over here. Or if you want to see my other channel, Directed Life, full-length interviews and really deep conversations, you can click over here.